looking for all the baddies all over the world.
When a client comes to you and asks you, can you make it look clean? Can you make it pop? If you're serious about making money and, growing a career, a successful one as a colorist, then you can't run from learning how to do the clean white look. You can't run from it. It's one of the most demanded looks by content creators, music videos, commercials, documentaries, and even in real estate videos. Most of the time, people will come to you and ask you a simple question. Can you make it look clean and let the colors pop? In this video, I'll be showing you how to get this look. It's quite easy, and I'll be showing you the fundamentals on building a clean white look so that you can say yes to your client whenever they come to you and ask you the dreaded question, can you make it pop? If you haven't met, my name is T-Saint. I'm a cinematographer and a colorist, and most importantly, I am a lazy filmmaker. On this channel, I help you become better at cinematography, lighting, and color grading. So that's enough talk. Let's jump into the video and I'll show you how to get a clean white look easily. Today we'll be working with this clip. This was sent in by Lakam, one of my viewers, and Lakam asked me clearly, like, he would love to learn how to do the clean white look. So he sent me this clip and he wants me to show a tutorial and show you guys how to get it done. I just downloaded it. I've not done anything to it yet. I don't know what to expect. This is like a real case scenario of what would happen if a client sends you a video and says, we want this look. So we're going to analyze this clip together. We're going to work on it step by step. And I hope I don't disappoint Lakam. So the first thing I usually do is to look at my clip very well and just, kind of have an idea of what's going on. I can see from the little I know that this was shot on Blackmagic 6K, but that's how much I know. I don't know which of the gammas it was shot on, but we'll figure that out in a bit. That happens also in a real case scenario. You sometimes just work blindly. You have a clip, or maybe the producer does not know. Maybe the producer has fought with the cinematographer, so they don't have a lot of information about some of the things in the film. And it's your job as the colorist to figure it out or to make it look as, just bring it back to like what is supposed to be Rec 709. This was shot in, log, obviously, so that's why it doesn't have any colors, which is great. This is the best way to color grade when you work with log footage. So I'm just going to do a quick play and just to look at the footage. Okay, so that's it. There's nothing else in the shot than this. So I'm going to look for an hero frame. Yeah, I like the part where she looks into the camera, so I'm just going to keep it around here. So I can see her eyes. I can see the light in her eyes. You can see clearly here. You can see it's right in this point. Let me zoom in and you guys can see. So you can see the light here, right here. That's where, that's how you sometimes have an idea of where the light is coming from. So the light it's coming from the right. And that's also, you can easily see that this side of the shot, this left side, or the right side is brighter than the left side, which is cool. We can always balance it. So the first thing we'll do is to jump in and do our color management. So again, if you guys know how I work, I create two nodes. I'm going to use my mouse and also try to use my panel because it's faster, like I used to say. So let's create another node. I'll do this first with the mouse, then I'll jump into the panel. The first thing I would do, again, give this one a name, call it IDT. Come here and call this ODT. IDT means input display transform and ODT means output display transform. Thank you. So this is input, this is output. So let's start from input. We'll go into the effect. We'll put the color space transform. Let's do the same thing for the output since we are here now. Put another color space transform into it. And if you guys notice, I like to grade and show you guys how to color grade with the minimal things, the things that you don't need to get the studio version for. If you're new to color grading, there's a chance you don't want to buy the software yet. I would advise you buy it eventually because it's an awesome software. But with the free one, you can actually do all the things I'm doing. That's why I don't use things like Film Look Creator, and I try not to use a lot of plugins that you don't have in the free version so that you can comfortably follow along, right? So we have our IDT and our ODT. So again, let's go through, this is a Blackmagic shot. So we're going to Blackmagic 6K. So I'm just going to, let me use the 4.6K and see. Input gamma pocket 6K film gen 4. 6K film gen 4. This looks okay. I'm going to change this one and see. Just to have an idea. Okay, that's the same look. Let me see. That has some green in it. I don't like that. Just going to make this full view so you guys can see what's going on. Okay. Output color space. We'll come back to this in a bit. Davinci Wide Gamut, come here and go to Davinci Intermediates. Okay, then let's go back to the nodes, go to the second node, this one. Come here, use Davinci Wide Gamut, Davinci, where are you? Intermediates, where are you? Here you go. Then come here, so say Rec 709, and say Gamma 2.4. Okay, so now I'm going to come back here and just come and look for the one that works the best for me. For sake of tutorials, I'm going to like make up my mind. Use this one, and yeah, I like this one, and just start from there. You know, so let's leave it. If you allow me, I'll keep pushing and moving things around. Let's leave it at this point and build from here. So the first thing I'll do, or the next thing, not the first thing this time, create another serial node. Again, you can use your mouse and say, come to add node and put serial. I'm going to create 3, 2, 3, create one last one and make parallel nodes. Parallel node is right click and, you know, come to add node and choose parallel. And parallels have a different way that they work, which I will show you or tell you in a second. I won't go into it fully, but parallel nodes, basically what you're doing with a parallel node is you're taking information from this one and you're sharing it into these guys individually. So before, the way it works is, if you do something here and you send it to the next one, this next one is taking information from here. So let's say you have put red all over these shots. This node is going to be taking information from a shot that's already been painted red. So you're going to be working with what has happened there already. But with a parallel node, all these guys are taking information individually from this guy. So let's say you've pushed red here, you have come here to do something. This guy is taking it freshly from this red. He's not taking it from what happens in this place. And everything will be mixed together and continued at the pipeline. I can explain that in a different video about nodes, but this is not a video about nodes, so let's move on so we don't really spend too much time. So let's go on to 3, and usually that's how I like to keep it. If I need more nodes, I'll go for it. But this time around, I'll keep it this way. Let's start naming our nodes now, because why? We are very organized people. Use exposure, EXP, or experience, yeah, exposure. This is contrast, and this would be, what do you guys think? Balance. Yes. Okay, I missed a node here. There's a node that should go before this guy. So I'm going to delete this. There's a node that should go after. I'll show you now. So this would be my HSV saturation. Then I'll go balance after. Then add the serial node and put balance. There's a reason why I saturate before I do balance, because I like to see all the colors come out before I push my white balance. So basically, I am saturating the shot first, seeing all the colors that I want to tackle, then I do the balance. Okay, so next thing, go into another serial and make it parallel. And this is where we do our parallel node. So here, if you guys know the way I work, this is my skin. This is which one? Who knows? Raise up your hand if you know. This is HSL. HSL is hue, saturation, and luminance. This one will decide what we want to make it later. This is what, let's say, look adjustments. Look ADG. This will be glow. There's a chance I won't use glow, but let's see. And this will be okay. Let's add elation also. You know, just so we have it. So this will be elation. And this would be, okay, remember I said I don't like to use things that are in the studio version. So elation is in the studio version, so we probably will not use it. So let's not use elation. Let's keep glow. I don't know if glow is in the free version, but let's not use glow. Let's put grain. Even though I'm not sure grain is in the free version also, but so let's disable that. But basically this is how our node tree will look. If you guys notice, I didn't do the film look this time around because I'm trying to create a clean look, and most of the film looks that you know are built off maybe a warm tone or maybe some curves. So I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to do like a very clean, natural white look. So that's why I'm not doing the Kodak 2383 like you guys have seen in my previous video. So this is the clean look. This is going to be, not like you can't do that, but I'm just saying, for me, this is going to be you grading without any of those things. Okay? Let us continue. So we have our node tree. Everything looks good. Clean up node graph. because we're tidy people, we have this node tree and we have this guys continue. So let's start as usual. We're going to go to exposure, balance things out, go to contrast, make sure everything pops. Then we'll go to saturation, do the balance. Then we'll start to like clean up everything. I have an idea of what these look adjustments would have, but we'll get there in a second. Now let's go. Let me change the viewing mode and let's start to clean up. I'm going to bring up my waveform. Looking at the shots, you can kind of tell that things are not as contrasty as it should be. It's not saturated also, I'm sure. See, you can see where saturation is. It's very low. I want the skin line to show, so I'm going to come here in the rotoscope. I'm going to come here and say display qualifier focus. That's the first thing. Then I'm also going to come here and say show skin tone indicator. Show skin tone indicator. So we're good. Let's start pushing things and making things look good. So for exposure, again, you guys know how we do it. We'll come to highlight, raise it up a bit. Let's go to our waveform. We'll come to this, bring it down so we can create some good contrast, you know. So I'm not going to use this again. I'm using the mouse so you guys can see what I'm doing down here, but I'm going to use my panel now. So bring things down, take highlights up. Basically trying to like just make everything pop. Again, before and after. You guys know I like to do that. Always do A and B testing of what you're doing. So let's go again. Before and after. Before and after. Let's go. Before and after. So treat this like it's a content creator's footage. So just imagine that a content creator sends you this and they want you to like create a grade for them. They usually will like it to, you know, pop. They don't want a lot of shadows. They don't want things to look too dark. So as much as we're putting contrast, we're making sure that things don't go too dark. So before and after, before and after. You can already see like there's major difference. Before and after, before and after. I'm going to come back to that. Let's go to the next node, which is the contrast node. Usually I will use contrast here to make it simple. Just push my contrast here, right? When I push it here, then I'll come and improve the pivots. You know, to raise where the contrast starts to like, you know, affect the skin. So this is what I would do sometimes with before and after, before and after. But today, let me show you a different form of contrast, which is by using the curves. So what I would do is use the curves to like create an S curve, which creates a similar contrast to using the contrast, but it's just way better. And in my opinion, it's finer. So what I'll usually do is come here, editable spines, and then click on the highlights. You know, I want to bring the highlights up because again, we're going for clean white look. We want things to pop. So then come here and kind of raise it. Then bring this back down. Can raise this. Come on, copy. Click this one and raise it, but be looking at the skin, be looking at the highlights. Make sure that you don't burn up things too much. So before and after, before and after. Okay, then I'll come to the shadows. We want to create some contrast in the shadow side. And, you know, just bring it down. Bring it down. Before and after. Again, you have to make sure you have editable splines. If not, it wouldn't work this way. So click this and keep pushing. Before and after. I like the contrast so far. I can do a bit, raise the shadows up a bit. Raise the shadows up here so it doesn't, the blacks don't go into complete darkness. Raise it up a bit, then come here. Sorry, my mouse sometimes can be weird. Oh, what is wrong with you? Okay, come here and pull it down. You can really see the contrast coming out from the shot. So this to that, this to that. I kind of prefer this to using the other contrast, but again, you can get similar results with either of them. You just want to increase the highlights without blowing things up. All right, this and that, this and that. Way better than, we started with this and we are here now. Started with this and we're here now. You can see our skin is already trying to separate because darker skins against whites, it's like the two extremes of contrast, because contrast is brightness versus, I want to say darkness now, but the brightest point of the shot versus the darkest side of the shot. So melanated people, people of color like me, our skin tones are rich, but when you put them against a white bright background, you have to make sure you find the contrast very well. If not, because naturally your eyes are drawn to the brightest point of a shot. So you want to create a nice contrast where none of them is at the extreme ends. It's not too bright, not too dark. You keep it in the middle, but you make sure that it's not flat. Don't know if that makes any sense, but we'll see as we keep going. So this is my curl for now. I can bring down the shadows a little bit. See what happens when I bring it down. See the neck? You see what's going on in the neck? When I bring it up, you see that I'm lifting some shadows. I don't want to lift it too much so she doesn't lose a full contrast. So somewhere around there is fine. And just pin this a bit to create the contrast back. Here I can come back to the highlights. Just give everything more pop. So there, we've already started creating our pop. Now let's go to our saturation and push out some colors. You guys know that I'm a fan of HSV. So come here, come to color space, HSV. If you don't understand how this works, check my other videos. I use them a lot and I spoke about the importance of HSV. So remove channel 1, channel 3, and then you can now saturate your shots with the midtones. Right? You can see how the colors are back. So again, midtones become the saturation bar. See? I've pushed it to the extreme. Don't do this ever. So yeah, I'm going to just lift the colors up. If you use the highlight, it also brings the colors of the brightest points of the shot out, which you don't want to do most times, especially not in this situation. What we're even trying to do here is to remove, saturation from the highlight of this shot. So I'm going to undo this, just showing you. So I'm going to saturate the skin. I'm looking at the skin right now. We're going to deal with the whites later, but right now the skin is to pop. And again, like I told you guys before now, whenever I do this, I do saturation before balance because I want to see the colors that are problematic colors before I start to remove them in my balance. So that's why I saturate them first. So I'm saturating this shot now and I can see clearly that this shot is greenish. It has a green teal on it. If you don't believe me, if you look here, you will see it. Can you see the grains? Green or teal. Can you see how they are lifted high? And if you look at the waveform, there's a way to also interpret waveforms. You look at your waveform and you kind of, you read what's on the waveform. You can look at your image and look at the waveform and tell what's going on. So all these bright points of your shots, all these parts, you can see here. You can see my waveform and those circles are dancing. This is showing me the colors that are here. So right now, by putting my mouse on this supposed white part, you can see that it's supposed to be a white part of the shot, but it's not white because what makes white? Complete mix of, blue, red, and green. That's what makes an extreme white shot. Right now, if you want to get this white, if it is white, then everything here will be white. You will see a white line here. You won't see the reds down. You won't see the green up and the blue all over the place. Again, if you come to parade, you can kind of tell. Look at it. See the shot. If I put my mouse on this, you can see that the green and the blue are pushed way higher here. The blue and the green are higher than the reds. That just clearly shows you that this shot has a lot of green and blue, which makes teal. The reds are lower than this, so we want to try to balance them. So let's come to balance and start doing it. And like I told you last time, I use printer light. I think it's just easier to push colors with printer light. So if you go to my printer light, which is here, come to color. If you don't have it activated, activate it. So sometimes you meet it this way, you come to color, activate printer lights. And like I've told you, I'm looking at this now and I'm going to try to balance it. So I want to remove green. So I'll come to full and say remove green. I don't know if you noticed, but the green jumped down. The green went down. So let me do before. See the green and after. Can you see the green? And you can see the image also change. And you can see our skin all of a sudden become cleaner. This and this. We're going to do more. We're not there yet. So we're going to another full printer light. You can use half, but I want to get there faster. So I will do full. Remove another green. Right? Guys, come and look at it. See? This is green, blue. The red is catching up. See before? See the difference. You wouldn't know how crazy or different these things are. And this is probably because of the white balance of the camera, or maybe the light that was used was maybe a Kino Flow, and Kino Flows, they look white, but they have some green in them. And when you put them, especially on Blackmagic cameras, you will see the green when you are trying to grade. So you have to color correct. One of the things that you can do as a cinematographer is when you are shooting, you can, if you know that the camera, for example, Blackmagics, they kind of render their shots with some green. The same thing with Sony cameras. So you can go to your white balance. After putting your correct white balance, you can go to the tints and remove the tints. So you can remove grain. But you don't have to stress yourself because, again, if you do that, how the colorists chop? If you do that, the colorists will not have work to do. So you can decide not to do that, but make sure things are, don't go ridiculously green because then it becomes a problem. Like people will say fix it in post. That's not ideal, but most of the time that happens because of the cameras, the light, and you probably don't have enough time to set up things properly. So that's understandable. So this is before and this is after. You can see how much the skin looks good. I've not done anything serious. I've basically just done balance. And if I did not saturate this shot enough, I won't have seen. See, this is this before. You can see that it has green, but you didn't see it very much until I put saturation there. So you can see what's going on. Then after. All right. Now we want to take out some blue in the shot. So we'll come to color again, half printer light, and remove, where is our cyan or blue? Remove blue. You can see the red is catching up better now. So we don't get carried away trying to match this equally. Let's come here and look at our waveform again. The goal is to try to get these parts, to match up and become white. So we're going to keep pushing. Before then, let me come to my vertoscope and see what's going on with my skin. If I put my mouse here, I can see clearly that my skin is kind of far. Still not very close to what we're going for. So we can still keep going. So let's go. Let's remove blue. Full printer light, remove blue. I saw what's going on now. My shot is going towards yellow, which is not what we're looking for. So we're going to come here and remove yellow. I'm going to come back. Full half printer light, remove yellow. Good, we're still going. Again, you can come back and check your waveform. Okay, we're making progress. See, we're making progress. Let's put some red in the shot to balance things out. Full printer lights and add red. See, things jumped up. Let's come back and remove blue. All right. Again, this is before. It's night and day, guys. You can see it. This is after. This is why I love color grading. You just trust your gut, look at your tools, and you see what's going on. So this is before. Very green. Initially, again, it didn't look like it was very green, but the more you keep pushing things, you start to notice like, oh, more. You see? This is after. The skin is looking richer, and the colors are looking more even now. Again, I'm not trying to balance just everything. I'm looking at the highlights because this part of the shots should ideally be like close to white. It should be on the same level. They should be like equal mix to get it. But don't get carried away, and I will tell you why I'm saying that. So see what we had before. See the waveform. See how the reds were so low, but now see the reds are closer. So let's keep going. This time around, vertoscope, I want to prioritize my skin. Make sure my skin is good. I'm going to keep removing yellow. I can see that there's a lot of yellow in the shots. Remove yellow. Go back. Remove yellow. We want our shots more in the reds. Come in here. Full printer lights. Add some red. Put my stuff on the skin. The skin is in the reds. Don't worry about the fact that the skin is so reddish. We'll fix that in a second, okay? So come back to waveform. See, we are getting way closer. Come to parade. Things are looking even better. Can see? The reds are closer now. The reds are closer to the greens. Just a little bit less than it would be. So let's leave it here and now start fine-tuning things. Make things, just look better. Right now, I can tell you for sure that the skin node is too warm. So let's come here and take down saturation a bit. Take it down a bit. All right. Okay, that's good. Come back to vertoscope. Look at my vertoscope. This is this. Look here. This is this. Okay, this is warm enough. I'm looking at the entire shot one more time just to have an idea of what's going on here. I think I'm going to back down a bit to my reds. Great. I removed the reds a bit just because I didn't like the fact that I was looking a bit too warm. Now, we have something that is, decent. That's what I would say. Let me saturate it a bit more. This is what we have now. So this was before, this is after, before and after. Now we're going for the clean white look. Let's say this is us balancing our shots. See what we had before was very green. This is what we have now. Let's say we've balanced the shots to a good level. And again, you don't have to like try to perfect a shot before moving on, because everything you do has to be in small increments. You have to like, it's almost like you're cooking. So you add small Maggi, you add small seasoning, you add some salt, you add some water. You just make sure things keep working. Things keep cooking together until it becomes a perfect dish. So let's come to HSL and clean up things better. So my HSL, that's why I will start refining the colors and making sure like, my skin sits in the proper space and making sure that everything just pops. So let's come to HSL, and that's coming to the curves, coming to the hue versus hue. I'm going to select the skin. I'm going to select the skin, click on the skin just to see where the skin is on the line. And again, if I push it here and push it down, you guys see what's happening, right? Okay, good. So let's select the skin and then just move this a bit to the side so that things are not too tight. Move this down a bit also. Don't want it to be too rigid. Move this down. Then let's just swing the red a little bit. So if it comes down, you're seeing green. If you go up, you're seeing, magenta. So I'm just going to do a little finesse. Let me see before and after. To be honest, I don't think I want to do that now, but let's see. Before and after. I think we're fine right now with the skin. Let's not do that for now. Let's look at the yellows. I'm not very sure about these yellows. I feel like they are distracting. They are also distracting us from looking at this character. So we're going to treat the skin in a different node. We'll treat the skin in the skin node. So let's go to the yellows and see what we can push with the yellows. So if you push the yellows, you see what's going on. If you push it down, you're introducing more green into the yellows. So let's just push it around somewhere that's a bit, I'm also moving and looking at the vertoscope, and I'm seeing it swing towards the reds. If it comes here, it's looking greenish. If it comes here, it's looking, towards the reds. So let's find a spot where it's not exactly down here, because that's not what we're going for. Before and after. Let me see. Before and after. Let's go the other way. Let's see. Okay, I think I actually like it down here. Yeah, this is better. Before and after. It's too green. Before and after. What do you guys think? Yeah, this is before. This is after. This is before. This is after. Okay, I've lost that yellow vibe now, so let's just push it back a bit more. Before and after. Before and after. Okay, let's go for the green and see what we can do with the green. Gonna undo that. Click this green. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm trying to also separate the skin. So I don't want things to be warm in the background and also warm like on my skin. I want the skin to stand out. So I'm trying to like remove colors that are distracting. So before and after, you can see before now it was warm in the background, but now the greens are looking greener. I've moved these plants. What do you call them again? Water lilies, I guess. Yeah, water lilies. Yeah, I think so. So this is what I have before. This is what I have now. I've moved the green down a bit so it doesn't have yellow in it. So this is before and after. Now I'm going to go to my hue versus saturation, and I'll use my panel now because I just prefer it. Go to the reds, and if I saturate the reds, I bring it down a bit. You can see before we had a lot of reds that were the skin was looking too saturated like this. We don't want that. We want the skin to look real. So this is the skin here. So this is before, this is after. So I'm going to take it down a bit. Before and after. For the yellows, let's see if I take the yellows up. Let's see what happens. Too much. Again, take it down just to see before and after. Let's see the greens. Let's see what happens when we push it up. And let's see what happens when we bring it down. Okay? We don't want to bring it down too much. This is before, this is after. So let's keep the greens neutral. Let's go to hue versus luminance, which is you're affecting the brightness of the color. So to my reds, I'll bring it up because I want my face to have some light in it. So before and after, just bring the face up a bit. Again, don't forget, I'm still going to treat the skin. Right now, I'm just looking at the entire shot and make sure everything looks good. Then the yellows, let me see. If I bring up the luminance, you can see that the plants are losing details, which is not what I want. I want the exact opposite. So I'm going to bring it down a bit, so that the colors can pop. See, before and after. Now I can go to, I can go back to my HSV saturation and take the yellows saturation down a bit. Because when you darken things, it kind of looks more saturated, right? So when you affect one thing, you can go back and do the other, like do a reverse to like neutralize the effect of what you just did. So saturating the color on the skin a bit more. Okay, again, guys, just so you know how far we've come, this is what we had before. Let me mute everything. So this is what we had before. Then we did exposure, then we did the contrast, then we did the saturation, we said that it was very green. We did the balance to balance it out, and then we're on HSL now. See? This is what we did, and this is how much we're... Basically, when they ask you to pop a color, what they're asking is let all the colors stand out. So what you are looking for as a colorist is color separation. How can I make things separate? How can I make things, everything not in the same plane? Because if you have everything looking bluish or reddish, then there's no separation, then there's no pop. So we're done with that now. I'm going to now come here and treat the skin. I'm treating this like, a content creator's page, and I'm also treating like a commercial. So if they've asked you to do these things, these are the things we're going to do. Don't forget, we're still going to clean the whites. Let me even come here and make this whites. Because right now what we're doing is just making all the shots look clean. So for the skin, I'm going to select the skin. I'm going to do a skin selection. Just use your qualifier, select the skin, come to this, just to give yourself, see the highlights and see what you've selected. Select the skin. If you need more selection, you can come to plus and, add more points. Right now, it's adding things I don't want to see. So come back to minors, remove the hair. We don't want that. Good. Then it's selecting the plants because there's some warmth in the plant also. So I'm going to move the hue. So you can see the goalpost, this and this. This is like a range telling it to select from here to here. So what I'm doing by pulling it the other way is telling it to remove, like let my range be excluding these colors. So I want my range to go from like this purplish part to like, yellows. In short, let me remove some of the purples also because I don't want purples. I want a clean skin tone. Good, this looks clean. So you can come here to finesse it a bit more. Clean blacks, tell it some clean whites. Then there's a very important part, which is the noise, so that everything looks clean. Then you can see our selection now. Now, if you look at it, you can see the selection. You can see where our skin is. Our skin is here on the skin tone indicator, which for me looks good. See? Our skin is very good. There's nothing wrong with our skin. So we're not trying to move. Nothing is wrong with the color of the skin. But what we need to do is to make sure this skin looks smoother. We remove some of these highlights that are here. This is probably because of the makeup or maybe the way the light is bouncing on our face. It's not very soft. So we're trying to like recreate that in edit. So you come to mid-tone detail and you can take the mid-tone detail down. Okay. And you guys see the difference. So before and after. I'm gonna do full screen for you. So look at before. See all the highlights there and after. Maybe there's too much that we're taking out, so we'll bring it back up a bit. And before and after. Just remove the shine before and after. So if I just take down the mid-tone detail, you can see how much of the face gets cleaner. So this is before, this is after. Before and after. I'm going to add some contrast to it. Then raise it up a bit. Raise up the face a bit. Remove some of the highlights. Let me show you what I'm doing. So highlights here, remove some of the highlights because I don't want the face to have those very bright points. I want to take them down the face. Then I'm pushing up the midtones, just looking at the face and seeing what we're doing. So before and after, before and after, before and after. I'm going to look at the selection again and, open up the selection a bit more. We're losing a part of the face that I don't want to lose. Okay. So let's see what we have now. So this is before and after. Before and after. Can you see the difference in the face, guys? So again, look at it. Look very well at the face. This is before. You can see the shine here, and then you can see the after. Before and after. So I'm going to take some highlights down again. Take some highlight down. bring up the exposure of the face a bit. Take the highlights down. Again, this is what I'm doing. Show you. So I'm basically moving this. So if I take this up, you can see what's going on with the skin now. Undo that. If I take the midtones up, see what's happening. Undo that. This is the highlight I was working on. So this is the highlights. You can see what's going on. Undo that. So what I did was to take the highlight down a bit so I can remove the brightest points on the face. If I reset it, see the difference, and bring it back. See, with the highlights on reset, this is the highlights down. So I prefer it down this way because I don't want it to look like the light coming on our face is not soft. Then the midtone details also, see? If you take it to the extreme, it starts to become too fake. If you bring it up, see what happens. We don't want the model to catch us doing this, so let's take it down. Let's take it down and make it soft enough. Okay, this looks pleasing, and this doesn't look bad at all. You can already see the difference we've made in some of these things that we've done so far. Now, let's clean up some of the things that we need to deal with. So we've done the skin. Now let's deal with the whites. Just generally, I think this entire shot still looks a bit too warm for me. I'm going to take this midtone detail. I'm going to bring it up a bit. It's too much. Okay, so this balance, I think there's still a bit of red in the skin. So I'm going to come down here and remove some of the red in the skin, not in the balance, no, just in the skin. So coming here and removing red. Good. Then I can saturate it a bit if I want. And before and after. Before and after. I'm going to push the red back because I can see clearly that it's beginning to go towards the yellowish and greenish part. So this is fine for now. If later we're worried about some things, then we'll fix that. Now let's go to the part where we want to fix the whites. And it's quite easy. We're also going to use the HSL. So let's come to this curve. There's another way you can do it, which is to come to color boost and push color boost down. So people do this, they bring the color boost down before they saturate. Let me show you how I would do that normally. So if I come here before saturation and I create a node, add serial before, and I take the color boost down just a little bit. Then I push my saturation back up. Saturation would affect just the colorful parts of the shots and leave, the less colorful part, which is like the white and stuff, leave them desaturated. Because if I remove this, see, this is before, see how the blues are out now. And when I did color boost before then, see how it has cleaned up the white. But I don't want to do this. I don't really like to use this method because I don't think it's very sustainable. And sometimes it's just a lot of stress to have to create that. So the way I like to do it is to come to luminance versus saturation. So luminance basically saying, the way these curves work is this. Let me explain it for a second. Let me make it bring it down as much as possible. So when you see something, let's say hue versus hue, what you're asking the software to do is that I want to affect my hue and I want to affect it by changing the hue of it, if that makes sense. So hue is color. So I want to affect my color red, but I want to do the effect I want on it is to change the color red's color, if that makes any sense. Okay, this will make sense now because this is hue versus saturation. What you're telling the software is, I want to affect my color, which is hue, color red, but I want to affect the saturation of that color, right? That makes sense? Good. Let's go to the next one, hue versus luminance. I want to affect my color green, but I want to affect the luminance of my color green. So I want to affect the brightness of my color green, if that makes any sense. The next one is luminance versus saturation. I want to affect the brightness of my shots, but I want to affect the brightness saturation. So basically, the brightest part of my shots, which is my highlight, I want to desaturate it. That's what I'm going to. So forget all this my English speaking. So basically, what I need to do is to come here. I want to take this part. This is the brightest part, as you can see on the waveform, and this is the darkest part. So I want to desaturate the brightest part of my shot, which is where the white is. So if I bring this down, you can see the white has gone to almost no color. But then there's a problem because my entire shot now has been affected. So what I can do is to come back here and push up to say, is the white I want to affect, please do not disturb my other colors. So I'll come to somewhere around here, because this is where my colors are, and I'll tell it anything from there, make it clean. So let's say before and after. Look at this part, right? Before and after. Look at this part. Before and after. Before and after. Before and after. I'm going to bring this up a bit. I don't want it to affect my yellow color. Right? Before and after. Before and after. Let me go full screen so you guys can see. So this is before, this is after. Can you see the difference? This is before. I'm going to do it again. Bring this down. So you see the most difference around here. Okay. Go to full viewer. This is what we had before we did the luminous veil saturation. This is after. See? The white is clean. This, the white has blue in it. Here, the white is clean. Good. Let's move on. There's another thing I would do also to there's another way I can also make sure this is cleaner. So I'll come here, let me give it some more color. Just to make sure that I'm not losing too much color in my skin and everything else. Let me come and do that in look adjustments. What I would do is to come to my qualifier. So what I want to do is almost the same thing I did. It's just another way I try to make sure that my colors are white. You know, my whites are very clean and I don't have a lot of colors all over the place. What I would do is come here, come and disable these guys and target just my luminance. So let me move the range that I want. And when you're doing this, please put on your highlight so you can see where it's selecting. Okay, so I'm telling it, give me a range that affects just the white in my shots. Okay, so I'm going to move the low, keep going. That's more like it. That's a range that covers everything in my shots that is basically white. Before I do this, I noticed something in this shot, and sorry, I was going to attack this before I continue doing everything else, but I forgot. I noticed that this entire shot, the lighting is not balanced. So I said in the beginning, I said this shot is brighter here and darker on this side. So that's creating you can see some shadow here. So why don't we fix that before we continue into this next phase that we're trying to do? So here I'm going to come to create a node before this look adjustments, and I'll call it let's say relight. So what I'm trying to do is to make sure this side of the shot matches this other side. So with relight, I'm going to come here and use the power window, and I will come and use this one that I use, this one. This is like a gradient, and draw it around where I want to lift. So I basically want to lift this part. If you want to see where it's affecting, again, click this highlight so you see where whatever you're doing is affecting. So I'm going to move it back a bit. I just want it to then push it forward so I can soften it. I'll come here and do the soften anywhere you want. And let's say this is okay. Come back. Now I'm going to lift it. I'm going to come to the gamma and lift that point up. Can you guys see what's going on? Lifting it up. I'm going to increase it a bit so it comes to this point. So let's do before and after. Let's go full viewer. Before and after. Before and after. Before and after. So I'm going to take it down a bit. So let's go again. Before and after. You can see how I've kind of balanced the shots. You know, we're looking to dark and you're going for a clean white look. You probably do not want that dramatic difference between the face. So I'm still going to keep the dark side of our face because I know the cinematographer wanted that. But I'm just trying to make sure this part of the shot is not too dark. Before and after. Okay. Take the highlights down a bit. In the midtones up. Take the shadows up. Before and after. Very mild, but very important. So what I would do, because this shot, I don't know if the person moves around, but because it's a locked off shot, I might not need to track it, but just for sake of discipline. So again, before and after, I'm going to come to the tracker and track it. Sure. So they track forward and backwards. So when you click this just will track your shots so that whenever the camera moves, that power window stays with it. And the reason why I did that before I came here is just so that my selection will be better. So let me use the highlight mode here. You guys will see something. See my selection, I've selected this part. Before now, when I did not do this, when I did not do this relight, when I selected the brightest point of my shot, it was selecting just this part. And that's because these parts were the brightest point of the shot, because this corner was dark. That's what reminded me that I wanted to do my relight. So you can see, this is a selection I did before. It wasn't selecting this corner. So if I had done anything, this corner would have stayed unaffected. But when I did my relight to kind of balance the light a bit, see, and you can see that now it has selected more. So these are the things that sometimes if you don't do the bare minimum, you don't do the necessary things, then you'll just see that your selection is acting up. Okay? So this is telling the shots to select all the things in the screen, everything here that is bright, and then I can desaturate it. So that's what it has done. This has ensured that everything I'm working on is closer to white. You can see now, even in my waveform, my parade form, things are cleaner. Let me remove. See, when I put this on, you did see the colors come. When I put it off, you can see the colors are far from each other. Put it on, colors are closer. Put it off. So even if you don't see the difference per se, you can see it when you do this. Also here, when I let me remove both of them. But when I put this node that cleaned up the whites, did you see the small difference? See the difference here? When I came here, see the difference? And the reason why the difference is not too crazy is because we've already balanced the shots. We've cleaned up things. Let me see if I take down my blue, see, I'm even balancing more. I removed my blue now. And let me push up the reds just so it matches a bit. You can see already that this shot is looking like it's getting more balanced. The white is becoming white, This would affect my skin, of course, and which I can always go back and affect later and touch it later. So let me come to here again and remove the blue. And the reason why I'm doing this, I'm going back and forth and showing you all this is because I want you to understand that when it comes to color, there's not exact one rule that this is how it should be. You will be the one to, with all the tools that you have, you'll be the one to figure out what's working, how do you want to improve stuff, and how do you want to get to your results. So this skin now, for example, if I look at this color, the whites are looking decent. They're looking pretty white. Look at the dress. Look at what she's wearing here. I'm going to remove some green from the balance. So come to color, full printer lights, and remove green. And then look at my white again. My white is way closer to white now. I'm going to remove half blue. And with this, my whites are cleaner. I can tell. Oops, undo. But my skin now has gained so much red because of the changes I made. So I'm going to go back and, work on that. So HSL before and after. So I'm fine with what the yellow is showing. I'm fine with every other thing, but my reds need some love. So I'm going to come back here and kind of move my reds away from. So it was looking this way before, you can see. But I'm taking the reds. And I'm going to look at my vertoscope just so I know exactly what's going on. Vertoscope says push the red a bit more towards red, swing it a bit towards red. There you go. Then go to saturation and remove the reds. Reds are crazy. Remove the reds. Again, there's no rule saying that your red must sit exactly on the red. So some people like they like some little bit of yellow. As long as you don't have greens in it, you're fine in their skin tone. I like where this is sitting right now, so I'm going to leave it here. Okay. Saturation, come down a bit, just so we have everything looking good. Yeah, take it out a bit. In terms of these whites, I'm going to come back here and clean it up a little bit more. Okay, there's something I'm going to do last. I'm going to come to my contrast and even give my stuff some more contrast. Just a little bit to pop a bit more. Not too much. The last thing I want is to make my model dark, too dark. So I'm looking at the contrast, I'm looking at the highlights, I'm saying how far I can push it. Think it's okay there. Good. Looking at the skin, just final checks, making sure everything is fine. Bring it down a bit, give it some contrast, bring it up. Look at the mid-tone details, take it down a bit. Look at our image and say, okay, this entire thing still looks a bit too saturated. Saturation of the skin tone, bring it down a bit, just so it's natural. This is good. So before and after. See the difference before and after. All right. Now let's go and let's use sharpen here instead of I would have loved to use glow, but I don't want to use glow. That would be cheating because you guys might not have glow on your software in your free version. So let me do sharpen here and just sharpen this entire shot. So sharpen, I don't stress it most times. I just come here, I come to sharpen. If you push it there, that see, if you push it too much. So I just basically use a little bit, very little. That's too much. Before and after, before and after. It just brings back some of those details. So before and after, before and after. Can go back to my skin now, soften it a bit more. Come to the sharpen and maybe reduce it a little bit more. Because it's so good that it sharpens extremely crazily. Then let's come here and put noise remover. I'm sorry you guys might not have this, but my body just itches when I don't use noise remover. So I use like 2. This is based on vibes most times again. I know some people do like some very detailed tutorials on noise removals. I'm like, okay. For me, I use what works for me. If it works, it's good. Clients don't complain if you like it. So not too much. I want to take it back down. I'm not very big on theory. I'm not very big on this is how it should be. I feel like things should be done by, because you see these rules come out today and the next minute it's changing. So because I did this noise remover, it has softened my skin even more. So I'm going to like reduce the mid-tone detail that I pushed before, which was here, if you guys remember. So I bring it back up a bit. And yeah. I'm going to reduce that a bit too, just a bit. Okay. So contrast looks good. Maybe bring down the highlight a little bit more again. In the exposure, take my highlights down. Raise the midtones a bit more. Take the shadows down a bit. This is just me. This is preference. You guys don't worry about this. But this is just me doing like more cleanups to stuff. So it depends on how you also want your stuff. Sometimes you might want your skin saturated, if that's what you're going for. Let's find it in the middle. Not necessarily for me. So there's something about this relight that's bothering me. If you look at it very well, it's affecting this plant also here because I'm relighting the entire point. So I'm going to try to fix that. Yeah, it needs to be soft also. It's not soft enough. It's way better. Yeah, I'm going to bring it down a bit. I think it's too much and put some contrast back there. Before and after. Yeah, that's better. So before and after. This is before, it looks dark, and after. So because I've done like relighting and everything else, I can now decide at this point to kind of do my that thing that I used to do, which is create a power window. Let's see if that works. Create a power window and pull focus on our main subjects. So create a power window across our face. If you check the highlights, again, you can do that with this tool. Just to see where we are. This is the highlights. Then click this to reverse it, so that everything you're affecting is things outside there. Then I can darken the environment. Just a little bit. Before and after. So what I've done basically is, because you wonder why am I darkening it now when I first had to relight here before. The reason why I'm doing it later here is because now I have balanced both sides to the same, the light looks even. Now that the light is even, I can now do my refocus by using this one to refocus it. So, which is what I've done here. It's very mild. It's not too much. See? Fiddle, full, and after. I'm going to even raise it a bit. Don't want it to be so obvious. So, this is before and after. It just helps you to also pay attention to the person in front of you, and then you look at her way more than anything else. This is where I'll probably pack this. I'm just going to come here again and do final checks. I can go back here, curves. Let me saturate the yellows a bit. Then desaturate the reds a bit. I'm basically moving these guys up, because I want these plants to pop. There's a reason why they're in the shots. I want them to stay pop, but I don't want the skin to be too warm like this. That would be weird. So I'm looking for a good spot where everything looks good and it's not distracting. I'm looking at the skin again to see where it is on the line. It's not bad. Looks okay. Looks okay. Coming to the luminance, hue versus luminance again. Brightness of the color. Look at my skin. Bring it up a bit. The yellow is too bright this way. Bring it down. So it has that density and it's not just looking very distracting. Okay. And yeah, I'm sure you guys will be like, guy, it's enough. Yeah, maybe it's enough now, and this is where we're probably supposed to stop. But this is what happens in the coloring room. Most of the time you see videos online and people just go straight to what they're doing and they just have it figured out. That's because they've practiced before doing the video. If you are genuinely color grading in the moment, you would know fully well that this is what happens. You're basically tweaking. There's no perfect way. Nobody comes to a color and they have a full idea of how it's going to turn out. You might have an image in your head of what you're trying to achieve, and you're going for those things, which is clean whites. You want your whites to be clean. You don't want things to look like there's a particular color that is all over it. But you will need to fine tune to test. If you have a lot of grades, if I have a lot of grades, I will not approach it this way. I'll most likely go ahead and clean up, create a basic look across everything, then spend some more time fine tuning and cleaning it up. So I'm just going to stop at some points. If you guys don't stop me, I probably won't stop. So that's it. Let's just play back one last time. This is what we have now. And what we had before, if we start from the beginning, is this. And then we'll put some color. Night and day. There you go. Done. Job done. Now you're a colorist. Through the process, you can see how I approached my saturation, my contrast, most especially how I made sure that the colors in the skin tone were not too warm, or basically I balanced it to my taste, and that doesn't mean that that's your taste. So you're the colorist, you're the one that understands the look you're going for. So, but I've just shown you the tools that you need to use to approach this, and also to target your whites. That's the most important part of this look. So if you like this video and you'd like to see more videos on how I approach my color grade, especially for darker skin tones, please consider subscribing to my channel. There are more videos that will be coming up, and there are 3 videos already that have been shot before this, where you guys have a lot of information, a lot of tips on how you can commercially pop or how you can commercially grade your music videos. If you like me to review your footage or you would like me to feature something you've shot on this channel, send it to my email address. It's in the description below, and I will take a look. And who knows, I might just be like using that in my next tutorial. Thank you very much for Lakam for sending this. I think it was well shot. It looks good. Your model looks beautiful and your work is outstanding. To the next video, please don't stop coloring. Don't stop watching my videos. Share with your friends and drop a comment. Let me know that you're watching this and let me know how this has benefited you. My name is T Saints. I'm a cinematographer and a colorist. And most importantly, I am a lazy filmmaker. To the next one, cheers. Take care of yourself. Bye.